This is week 3 of the Gospel Conversation pre-rollout. Just by way of reminder, before we jump into week 3, it's always good to email the people in your group. I email them about twice that week, one right after the group, and then once again as a reminder. And I also email the people that have specific roles or things to do in the rollout, because you just want to make sure they're going to be there to train in their piece for that week. So here we are, pre-rollout. Week 3, the first thing we do, as you all know, I immediately go to my document camera, and this is where, if it's on Zoom, last week our goals were Cindy was going to do the 3/3. So I call Cindy up to the front of the room, or on Zoom, she's going to talk me through it. And so, of course, Cindy, I'm your hands if in this case, and we're just going to draw the 3/3 out at this point. Real simple. We all know how it goes. When they're doing the 3/3, I allow them to explain the whole thing in front of the group, um, and not to explain one piece and then go back and do it. Just kind of chops it up a little bit more. Um, but I have them explain all the pieces out, and they always bring a sheet of paper up to the board when they do that. Of course, we have the go, grow, and gather. And there we go. And then 3 is worship. Sometimes I put a line underneath each of these just to demarcate them. And then number 4 is, of course, vision. And we're going to get to that in just a moment. And then, of course, new teaching. And I let them explain this too. They go new teaching each week, and they go, tell us about what we're doing. We're doing the 4-1-1, 4 questions, one sheet of paper, in one session or sittings, right there. And then I ask, hey, what questions had we covered? And they'll go, yep, we did the why, we've done the who. And then I go, hey, what are we doing tonight? And they're going to go, we're doing the what. We're actually doing part of the what. We're going to do just the 15-second testimony. You can't do the 15-second testimony and 3 circles all in one evening. It's just way too much. And then we go to practice, and then we go to set goals, and then we go to pray and go. Perfect. Thank you so much, Cindy. So here is, at this point, she does this. I go, thanks, Cindy. I appreciate you doing that. That looks great. And also at this point, we also assign someone to do the 3/3 the following week. And again, you're always, not always, but most of the time you'll get crickets when you ask that question. So after Cindy's done doing the 3/3, I go, hey, who can do this for next week? And you wait and you wait and you wait. Someone finally, and then maybe you call on someone and you're like, great, John, you're going to do the 3/3 next week. Great, John. We're going to put your name down there. All right. Then we do care. We break it in. This video is going to be really quick this week. We do care. We break up high and lows. And sometimes before you do that, if you're in person, make sure everyone has a buddy and a sheet of paper again. Do care, high and low for your week. How was your week? Everything going? Great. Loving accountability. Great. This is already set up from last week, week 2. Our accountability is very simple. Everybody was to share the who with somebody. They were to reach out to one person on their who, or their oikos map, who map, whatever, and reach out to them and ask them how they can pray. And then we asked them to prayer walk. So these are the 3 things everybody was responsible for. So when we break it up into accountability, we're going to ask about those 3 things. Perfect. This week, worship was to be done by Chucky. So Chucky is going to lead worship. So we go on love accountability. A few minutes, come out. We do worship together, and Chucky reads his passage and asks us, what do we learn about God, or something along those lines. All right. This week, I do not assign worship for the following week, because The following week, week 4, we're going to be doing the 3 circles, and that takes a lot of time to do that well and to rep that out. So next week we'll skip worship piece. All right, we go to vision, and so vision, we see vision this week was Brian. So Brian's going to get up and do the NPL brutal facts in vision, right? And he'll get up and do that in front of the room. And if everyone wants to follow along, they can turn their sheet of paper over. And also after he does, Brian does vision, which is the NPL brutal facts. Then we pray, we break into groups and pray for lostness. All right, for 2 names by name. So looking back on week 3, just want to be really clear here. Cindy gets up, explains it. Then I assign 3/3 to somebody else. We break into groups, do care. Then we remind everybody of the goals from last week right here, which are these right here that everybody is supposed to do. And then we go into accountability. We break up into groups and we ask, how did that go? How did who? How did you reach out? If you didn't, why not? We do worship at that point. Chucky's going to lead worship. And then Brian led vision. And we do break into groups. 2 names. That's 2 names. 2 names. We do break into groups and pray for lostness right there. So there's a review. All righty. Then we get to new teaching, and everybody will pull out their 411 sheet. Well, here's mine right here. They'll pull their 411 sheet. I've actually got to do that again, but the why, right? And then the who, and then the what. All right. So we're on the what this week. And that's when you get this out, you put the line in the middle, and you guys can watch the video for the 15-second testimony. So you can see the video for that. I'm not going to take all your time right now and do that. So we do that, right? Real simple. Then we come back to our 3/3 and practice, and we do door interactions again. We're going to practice that again this week. Just on a side note, me and my wife have been doing door interactions. Just want to say a little bit about that for a second. We have decided to re-engage our neighborhood. We haven't done this since COVID. So we figured, hey, if we're going to ask our groups to do this, we need to be doing it also. So we've been prayer walking our street almost every day of the week. And this past Sunday, we engaged the homes. So we knocked on, I don't know, 6, maybe 7 doors. Of those doors, only 2 of them opened up, and we had very lengthy conversations with them. Just want to, so at the door, I just want to tell you what I'm learning, having re-engaged the actual street I live on. We literally immediately identify who we are. We are Ross and Jill. We live down the street, and we say, hey, for 2023, we just want to care for our neighbors in a very direct way. We want to start our new year off. We're a praying family, and we got to your house. We wondered how we could pray for you. And so we set it off kind of that this is what we're doing at the beginning of the year, is to caring for our neighbors. And so, any rate, in the door interaction, I do send a document attached to this. I'm going to do a different video on door interaction. So just walking through the door interaction, because that's such a critical piece, because we're going to be asking the people to do that here in about a week. We're going to ask them to gauge 5 homes on their streets. That's coming up in week 4. But in the door interaction video, I'm going to actually, what I did this at a training where I go through the door interaction. I tell them where they're going to experience the most death, where the transitions are the most difficult, where it's going to be most uncomfortable. So check that video out. That will be coming out here in a day or so. But all right, so we're going to get back to our practice. And so we do door interactions, and I model that again for them. I knock on the door with somebody, they answer it, and I walk through, and then I break them into groups, and they do door interactions. One person acts behind the door, and the other one acts like they're knocking on the door, and then they switch. So you give them several minutes to do that. All right. Very simple. Now we're going to set goals. We got John doing the 3/3, and we are going to have all of them share the 15-second testimony with somebody this week. It could be someone far from God, a believer. That I just want them to share it and train with somebody that week. So my goals, make sure I get them all here. Also, just to kind of keep the heat on them, I asked that they reach out to one person on their Who map to ask again how they can pray for them. And so that's all everybody needs to do that. So, just kind of keeping the heat going there. And then I asked them to continue prayer walking their street. Right, yeah, that's all of them. All right. So there's the goals for week 4. And then I actually just started doing this. I do break them up and let them pray and go. Just want to throw a little bit of a wrinkle I did this past week. And again, I'm learning at every time I do a pre-rollout. I do ask somebody each week if they're willing. I have a verse related to the tool. And I ask them, like the Who, it would be Acts chapter 2, verse 39. Who can memorize that this week and then tell the group? And here is Second Corinthians with a Y, Second Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17 through 20, that they would memorize that, and some of them come back. That's just a little bonus if somebody feels like they have that you just want to throw another little wrinkle into giving somebody something to do, is that they memorize that scripture and come back the next week and recite it. So there's week 3. Real simple. It's the 15-second testimony. Next week will be the 3 circles. The goals for week 4 are 3/3. John's going to get up in the front of the group. Everyone needs to share the 15-second testimony with somebody, show them that, a believer or somebody, I don't care, whoever. And then they need to reach out to one more person on their oikos or Who map and ask them how they can pray for them. Put that word pray right there. And then I want them to continue prayer walking their streets. That's all of them. All right. Then they break into groups and they pray for each other and they go. Guys, that is week 3. Again, I will attach, if you want, the door interaction script. And also, I will be doing a little video where I walk through the door interaction so everyone can kind of understand. Because what we want to end up doing is remember, turn the heat up each week, getting people to begin engaging their neighbors in week 4. So great. I appreciate that. That's week 3 of the pre-rollout.